All right. Welcome to another edition of Sabbath Lounge. This is Matt
and Jake here.
And we're coming to you today with a very special guest, and we're super excited about. We have been visiting with Chuck as we try to figure out our technology piece. But we've got Chuck Pensyl on the phone. And Chuck, would you tell us, our audience, just a little bit about who you are and kind of a little bit of your Torah walk and how you got to Torah?
2009, around there, I was in the traditional church, trying to seek Jesus, trying to change my life. And about 2011, I could see things were wrong with the church. I couldn't really figure out what was wrong or what was missing. And I was reading stuff in the Bible that nobody was really doing that was in the church, and I couldn't put everything together. And I seen a video about the feast and how they're an image of the Messiah and how he fulfilled Passover through Shavuot. And that started pretty much my walk, and just been in the Torah ever since then, like late 2011.
All right, that's awesome. So, we came across something you had done, and so would you tell us a little bit about the reason why we've decided to talk to you today, and tell us a little bit of the story that has led us to this moment?
It was actually unplanned. I was in Florida helping a friend, and she was taking me back to Pennsylvania, and we were stopping at a friend's house in Tennessee to have dinner. And on the way to her house, she's been to the Georgia Guidestones before. One of my other friends calls them the Georgia Guidestones now. Kind of like that better. But she said, asked me if I wanted to go see the Georgia Guidestones. And she's a Torah keeper also. And I said, yeah, let's go blow the shofars there. And this was May 28th. We got there, we blew the shofars, prayed. Well, we prayed first, then blew the shofars. And we read Isaiah 27, 1 through 9, right where the stone was that got hit, actually. And that was on May 28th. And we actually have it documented on Facebook when we was there, have pictures of blowing the shofars and praying and everything there. But it was something we really wasn't expecting, like we knew they was going to come down from the prophecy. And the day it happened, didn't even realize it was 40 days later. The day it happened, it took a friend calling and saying, yeah, that was like 5 weeks ago. So we started looking up and counting the days, and it ended up being 40 days. And I seen something else beautiful come out of this in the Torah community. I've had all kinds of people reach out and send pictures of their daughters and their children, and people, there was one group of people, 7 of them went and surrounded it and blew the shofar. One lady went like a week before. There was one lady that has a testimony of praying for 4 days, and on the 4th day, the day they got hit, she was praying against them. But I found it interesting in that town there. I can't remember the name of the town they're in. It's not really a town. It was just a field. The town was kind of away from it. We stopped at a gas station, and how all the people at the gas station that was there that day they didn't really like him at all being there. Like nobody had anything good to say about him. So it was kind of interesting, like the spiritual presence there, like with the people, was against the spiritual presence of them being there. I found that interesting too.
Yeah, that is interesting. So you're saying the locals there, they weren't fond of it either.
The ones we encountered anyways. And I would like to say, a very special thanks to Nicole, the lady that took me there, I mean, we wouldn't even went there if it wouldn't have been for her thinking about it, or y'all putting it on her heart.
Hey, that's amazing how those small connections can lead to something that you see he had planned all
it's beautiful.
along.
Yeah, that's really incredible. And we appreciate that you were willing to be obedient and willing to go out and do something. Was there anyone else there? Like, were there visitors?
No, when we was there, we was the only ones there. There was something I found interesting about it. Like, we read in the scriptures about the high places over and over. In that area, it was built, it was like set on the highest hill. almost, I mean, on the highest place of that hill in the area. So like it was up higher than everything else, like the field it was in and the area you look across to, you've seen out to where the mountains are and stuff. But in that little area there, it was the high place.
Did you feel like at the moment that something like what we saw later with the Guidestones, that was the purpose of what you were doing, or did you even know what the purpose was?
We was just confronting the spiritual presence there. Soon as I seen him, the verse Isaiah 27:9 popped into my mind.
I think Jake was looking that up. Do you want him to read that?
Yeah,
if he's got it handy. Yeah.
By this therefore shall the iniquity of Jacob be purged, and this is all the fruit to take away his sin, when he makes all the stones of the altar as chalk stones that are beaten in sunder, the groves and images shall not stand up. Yeah, that's a perfect verse to kind of describe what happened there.
Yeah, and it was so beautiful the day he done it. The morning it happened, I had a couple friends that knew I was there. They was all sending messages saying that they got hit or they blew up or someone blew them up. So what they were saying at the time. So I thought somebody did it. And then I was thinking, I was like, why did he just take one of them out, and not take the rest of them down? Why did he leave this unfinished? I'm thinking, like, are they going to rebuild it or, and I realized that day I actually done something wrong. I wasn't thinking with him. I should have been asking him, well, what's next, because by that day, by 4:00, they had him down. Like the people took him down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of my understanding that they built these things, and then later the guy or somebody donated it to the county and said, "Here, this is yours now." And the county was like, "We don't need anything else to maintain. We're a little county. We can barely maintain what we have." And they're like, "Okay." And so they had. I think the county had no problem taking it down because they're like, "We didn't want this anyway." And this just gave us a reason to make less work for ourselves.
Oh,
and less headache.
Yeah, there was all kinds of surveillance there. They had 2 cameras. They could see like 360 degrees around it. So they had surveillance, and then it was a big field. to keep up and.
Yeah. Well, what I so appreciated is, we kind of had a conversation in our Torah group that we have a fellowship, and they were talking about all these conspiracy theories. It was this, it was that, and I was like, I know why it fell. Chuck went there and blew the shofar, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "This friend that I know on Facebook blew the shofar there. That's why it fell." and I'm like, "Yeah, it just makes sense. We can worry ourselves to death with all kinds of crazy conspiracy theories, but we gotta realize that y'all didn't want those things to stand, and
remember who gets the glory."
That's right. That's right.
Amen.
And when we attribute it to man conspiracy theories, I think we're giving the glory to man.
Right.
Unfortunately. But I just so appreciate Chuck. Chuck, do you have any other thoughts? Do you have a feeling of other places that the shofar should be blown? Do you have any other thoughts about what should happen next?
Actually, we're a couple of friends. We're actually trying to put something to go to the Washington Monument in D.C. and Statue of Liberty in New York. There's a couple places people have been throwing around. It's just a matter of getting everybody together at the same time to do it.
Yeah. Well, we'd be happy to help you get the word out in any way if you have some event like that we don't have a huge following, but there are people we know, and we'd be happy to help proclaim that, because I think that is powerful. And in our group, we've also, you kind of have challenged us and encouraged us to. And I think everyone listening to this should be, maybe there's some things in your city, in your town, in your state that's close by. Maybe you don't have to drive cross country. Of course, if you can do that and you want to, by all means. But there may be some things in your local community that you need to consider blowing the shofar over, and definitely pray about it. But yes, what kind of impact could we have if we proclaim that all across the country in little local municipalities all over? So Anyway, well, that's an awesome story. Jake, do you have any other questions or anything?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's interesting to think about, because that's something that wasn't even really on my radar, to go to places that where there is a spiritual darkness and blow the shofar. It's just a good idea in general.
Beautiful idea. Since I had got my first shofar in 2012. It's actually the one that's in the picture there where I was blowing it there. I have a longer one, but this one it's easier to carry when I'm traveling. It's just a small one. But back home, I would go like above, try to get on top of the mountains. I like hiking. I would go on top of the mountains, on the different trails or whatever, and just spend a day and blow the shofars over the towns, the different towns and different cities. And I don't really know of anything ever happening, but you don't know. Just praying over town.
Well, and it makes me think of the scripture when they go into the promised land. He tells them to take possession of the land, and they didn't always do that very well, but there is a concept there of taking possession of our land, and I appreciate that you have given us some hope and some encouragement to do these same things, and we look forward to see what Yah does. Well, Chuck, you have anything else you
definitely
want to say, or Jake, you got anything else?
Yeah, I'd like to say there's something I've been doing for the last few years. It's really, really been a blessing. I can't tell you how many times people have been blessed, different things seen, healings, and it's praying like the 3 times a day, the 9, 12, and 3. Set an alarm on my phone and just try to intercede for people, different things. And I mean, I try to send one of them out a day to different people or stuff like that. But anybody that's interested in the praying and interceding, it's a true blessing. I mean, it's I can't even tell you all the blessings every day. There's a blessing comes out of it somehow with someone somewhere, and you're not even expecting it most of the times. People you don't know, but that's been a blessing also. I mean, the power of prayer is something I think we greatly underestimate these days.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. We have some people in our group that do that as well, and they set an alarm on their phone, and it's a powerful reminder, and that they say the same thing. So that's a great testimony, a great thing you're doing. So
it's all Him. Without Him, we're nothing. We serve. He is the King of Glory.
And Chuck, the other thing that we say a lot in our group that's always amazing is when we gather on Shabbat, we acknowledge that all around the world, like this week, most of us are going to be doing Phineas, and all around the world, people are reading that same exact scripture, having the same conversations, the same questions, and the same the same aha moments, and the things where people are like, I don't remember seeing that.
Amen.
I've never seen that before, and in discussion, and it's a beautiful thing, and we are honored to know that you're one of the ones out there with the rest of us that when we're gathering on Shabbat that. We're in like mind, and that's very encouraging to find other people. And we're in Texas. I don't know that we said that. So, but anyway, just know you've got people in Texas doing the same kind of thing.
Yep, and then it's just nice because that's the unity that it talks about, and the body growing as one. You can't have part of your body growing and the other part not. So you're supposed to grow as one.
I'll tell you guys something I found out. You might already know this, but I find some people that don't sometimes about Phineas. In the Torah portion this week, if you go to Judges 20:28, Phineas was still the high priest at the time, Phineas, the son of Aaron. And if you go back from Numbers 25, if he was 30 years old at that point, all the way through the Judges, he had to be 370 years old. And that's if he was 30 years old the day of Numbers 25. But in Judges 20:28, Phineas was 370 years old. If you add up all the judges.
That's definitely something to look into.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. Jake pulled it up here. What does it say?
It says, and Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, stood before it in those days, saying, Shall I yet again go out to battle against the children of Benjamin, my brother, or shall I cease? And Yahweh said, "Go up, for tomorrow I will deliver them into your
Yeah,
hand."
that's really interesting. I went through all the judges and added up the years of the judges. And if it falls on every day, Phineas was 30 years old in Numbers 25. He was 370 years old right then in Judges 20:28.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting.
That's definitely a rabbit I've never chased.
Yeah, no, we've chased a few, so we haven't chased that one before.
Yeah, it's just interesting. People say you're under the law. I'm thinking like, well, that wasn't too much under the law.
Yeah, that's good.
If that ain't grace, I don't know what is.
That's right. That's right. Grace is all over the quote unquote Old Testament. Just no one ever taught us it was there. We didn't have the eyes to see it.
Yeah.
Well, Chuck, we wish blessings on you and your family, and we want to stay in touch. And so if someone wants to find out more about you and see the things that you're doing, how would they see this?
Facebook, but I haven't been on there the last couple of days. Kind of taking a little fast from Facebook a little bit, but I'm on Messenger all the time. Somebody can send me messages on Facebook if they need to get a hold of me.
Okay, yeah. So, and what part of the country are you located in?
Right now I'm in Oklahoma, but I live in Pennsylvania.
Okay, Pennsylvania's home base. So, so if you're listening to this and you're close in those areas and you have an idea of a place that you should blow the shofar, Chuck can be happy to you could message him and he'd be happy to tell you what he did or anything, or and I'm sure he'd be happy to encourage you in any way. So that's about all I have. We just kind of wanted to hear your story and hear how that happened and hear how Yah was working in your life, and just wanted to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, and we look forward to seeing what happens in the future.
Yeah, and we appreciate you being able to take time out and talk with us.
Yeah, thanks for your flexibility as we work through technology, and we've finally got all that figured out. And
thank you guys. Thank you guys for what you're doing.
Yeah, we appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing what happens. And that's all we have. And so we're going to sign off here, but we'll talk to Chuck for just a second. So Chuck, stay on the line, but we'll go ahead and sign out a Sabbath Lounge. This is Matt
and Jake
signing out.